fellow Toastmaster, distinguished guests. Question, how can we help the misfortunate? A lot of ways we can help the misfortunate. We have a lot of people that's out there that actually don't want to hand out, but actually they want to work for themselves. They don't want to do crimes like a lot of the bad, poor neighborhoods, and they most of the time are in jail for the rest of their life. But there's a way that we can help the misfortunate by helping them in trade schools or helping them get careers or helping them get jobs or businesses that's an everyday part of life that people don't think about. I heard on the radio the other day about another store, retail store going out of business. It was a Bible bookstore. Also Sears went out of business. The company that I worked for, H.H. Gregg, for 9 years, they went out of business. So what we're finding this day and time that a lot of businesses that employ people are actually going out of business, which make people more desperate to make a living. Have you ever went to the grocery store? In the middle of the day, they have about 15 registers, but only one person working. And the thing about it is we get more and more into education, we're literally phasing ourselves out. I remember years ago, I went to Disney World, and they had a thing, it was called Terminator. I don't know how, it wasn't an actual ride or anything, but it was a display. And they had the Terminator, was played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it was showing how man was going to eliminate their own self. Anybody seen the movie Matrix? Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's fascinating me about the movie Matrix, how there's a scene in that movie that says they turned a human being into this, and the gentleman showed a battery. So we turned a human being into a battery. I remember the days when a big family had a 19-inch or 13-inch television, and that was considered a huge television back in the day. I remember back in the day when we had pliers to turn the knob, or a big clothes hanger for reception. But we have got so spoiled now that if we can't find a remote control, we won't even watch television. And as time goes by, you look at the different stuff that's going on. I even saw a commercial the other day where there's a car that all you do is sit in the car, it'll drive for you, and it'll take you where you want to go. Well, they got some rough edges to work out because they hit somebody, but you know, that's, I guess, part of the plan. But the thing of it is we're not using our minds, and everything is done for us by computers. Computers will order your groceries. You don't have to go to the grocery store no more, they'll deliver them. A computer will diagnose you and tell you what's wrong with you. A computer will tell you if you're happy or sad. Even it's got to the point that we won't even find a companion on our own anymore without putting a name in the computer to try to find your match. So all this I said to help the misfortunate. I was in the air conditioning business for over 30 years. I started when I was 19 years old. I worked as a salesperson for 9 years. I'm the pastor of a church in Thomasville, Georgia called St. James Primitive Baptist Church. And also I'm a founder of a church that's in Crawfordville, Florida called the Church of Faith Primitive Baptist Church. I am also a distinguished Toastmaster, early bird Toastmasters, 3-6, I want to put it wrong, 51. So I just said that, just give a little information about myself. But when I was a little boy, I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood. My desire always to help people that was less fortunate. People that wanted to do something with their life, but everybody wasn't college material. I remember when I was a kid, old men got together, raggedy old trailers with chains and nails hanging them up. And they did lawn service before most people even thought about doing lawn service. Now lawn service is a major multi-million-dollar business. That started all from a neighborhood that was misfortunate. I believe the first time I ever seen a mobile car wash was a man that was misfortunate, that was riding a bicycle with a bucket, and he washed the car out of that bucket. The water might have been dirty, but that's all he had. He had washed the car out of that. They made that a multi-million-dollar business. Now you see all the mobile detailers and everything riding around washing the cars and stuff. So why I have this desire is I know how hard it is to be a minority businessman. When you try to help people that's misfortunate, I wanted to come up with a program that would actually send unfortunate people to school and pay them to go to school. It's more designed for trade school, not college. Everybody's not college material. But I know I would have loved something like that when I was going to school, that I actually went to trade school, learned a trade, and they paid me while I was doing that trade. Why do that? Because that's one of the biggest excuses people have for not trying to get a trade or not trying to do better. They need the education. Then after that, I would teach them how to go into business for themselves, how to apply for the occupational license, how to set up a bank account, how to get their customers. Now, back in the day, we didn't have social media, but social media is a major tool for advertising and business. We had back in the day what they call word of mouth. But still, that's also a method to help people that's unfortunate. I see businesses like barbershops. A person all day cutting hair all day can make a living, an honest living for themselves. So there are many other businesses that can be created for people that's misfortunate. And as I close, I see these politicians, Democrats, Republicans, and senators, and they fight about all of this stuff they're fighting about. And you got the distribution of the wealth and all of that. It would change if you start first in the neighborhood that you're in. Help the people that they could be a better people. With that, crime goes down. With that, quality of life goes up. With that also, real honest people would be into politics. It seems like the only difference between the people that's telling the truth and the people that's not telling the truth is what lie they got caught in today. That's the only difference. But I wish that politics was honest people that tried to really, really, really help the unfortunate. Because most of the time it's a lot of red tape with helping people that's unfortunate. So this is the beginning of my mission, the beginning of my journey, and this is my first speech on the topic to help the unfortunate. Fellow Toastmasters, thank you for your time.
Kevin, since Kevin's not here, will you be our county grammarian?
Sure.
What's interesting, as long as I've been a member of this club, we've had at least, most of the time, 2 people with the same name. That's why my name is Rauha. And trust me, I have known other Rauhas because they were more finished than I am, but that's beside the point. Talking about televisions, our television, without the remote, you can't do anything with it. Can't even turn the thing off. And with the car, what I really appreciate, I have this thing called OnStar. I get lost crossing the street. It gets me where I'm going most of the time. And also, it tells me when I need to have the oil changed. I can't depend on my husband to check things. And as time progresses, it's going to be more my responsibility. There's no free lunch. Our next speaker is doing speech number 6 from the basic manual. His talk is about the thought the government can provide free college education.